welcome everybody. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to share these tools. Basically, where this book came from was in 2017. Well, it goes back farther than that. When I first started Access in 2012, I bet myself I really wanted to have a private session with Gary, and so I bet myself I was becoming a CF, and I bet myself, I said, okay, universe, if there's 5 people in my first foundation class, I'm going to use some of that money to take a private session with Gary. And I had exactly 5 people in my foundation class. And so I had a private session with Gary. And I was in college, living in Canada. I had just started out as a certified facilitator, and I just was so excited to share these magical tools with the world. And so I asked him, I said, I want to start a business, and I've facilitated my first foundation and things are moving, but like, how do I increase what I'm doing here? This is really, really special stuff. But it's weird. How are people going to find me? And he said, well, what if you do an energy pull every single day for your business? And he said, do it for 90 days. So I had a 3-minute recording of an energy pull that someone had given me, and I listened to that every day, and not every 3 days. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. That's so nice.
It's for you, just for tonight.
Thank you, guys. There, I'll put my water there. Okay. So I was just, I did it. I did it every day for 90 days. And people were coming. I didn't have any point of view that I couldn't be a success. And I was doing those energy pulls, and people were coming to classes and bars classes, and it was the middle of winter with this much snow on the ground in Canada, and I was lugging those massage tables by myself for those bars classes at 7 o'clock in the morning, and stuff was happening, man. It was exciting. And so I just loved the magic of the energy pulls because I got such powerful results with it, And then when I around 2017, I was like feeling in a bit of a rut, as we all do sometimes, and I was in a bit of a rut, and I said to myself, well, what about those energy pulls? What if I do like another 30 days or something like that? And I thought, well, what if I invited everybody to do them with me as a class? And there were so many people taking that class, and so many people who are hungry for the energy pulls. And then other facilitators started facilitating classes, and this tool got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was all these 30 days of energy pull classes were going on everywhere, and people were doing energy pulls and getting results. And I just was amazed, and I thought, this needs to be put into a book, because this needs to be taught in a bigger way, because it is so powerful. So then at that time, in 2017, I decided to write a book, and I started writing a book, and now it's 2025, and I'm finished! So actually, we were supposed to have the book was supposed to be here, but it's not. It takes so long to do a book. We planned this a few months ago. The book's still not ready. So I will send a pre-order link when it's ready if you want to sign up for emails, or it'll be on my social media. It will be ready soon. But I just was so excited about it, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And also, I think a good place to start right now is actually, since you are all advanced access people, for us to do an energy pull together. So we'll do a short energy pull together, and then I'll read a little bit of the book, and then we will drink our champagne, and we will go home. So it's pragmatic. That's how I like it, easy and fun. So if you could all close your eyes and relax, and let's go on a journey to create whatever you would like. So let's look at what we would like and do the energy pull to have it. And recently, I was talking to Gary about energy pulls. This was very recently, and I said, I feel like there's something off about my energy pulls. And so he gave me another tidbit, which I'm going to pass on to you tonight. He said, are you pulling energy to get what you want, or are you pulling energy to bring in the awareness that you need to create what you want? And I said, huh, Gary? What? And I said, Gary, I'm pulling energy to get what I want. He said, yeah, that's a limitation. That's a definition. You have to do it from a different space. You have to pull energy to bring in the awareness that will allow you to create what you'd like. So we're going to do it from that new space and see what happens. Okay? So close your eyes and just relax and just feel your body in the seat. And if you have anything that's up, just let that go down for now. You can pick it up later. And expand your energy to the top 4 corners of the room. And expand your energy to the bottom 4 corners of the room. And out across the whole city, the country, the continent, and the world. And let your energy go into the ocean, up into the skies, and down into the core of the earth. And then expand out beyond the atmosphere and just keep going farther and farther and farther. And that's the space of you as an infinite being, as a magical creature of consciousness and possibility. Now, take a second and put an energy, sort of like an energy bubble in front of your body, in front of kind of where your stomach is. And in this energy bubble, you can put whatever you want. So, what kind of world would you like to live in? What kind of possibilities would you like to create? What kind of relationship do you want to have with your body? What kind of people would you like to have? I mean, I have asked for the most fun, kind, happy, conscious, nurturing, silly, goofy, make me laugh the most kind of people to show up and be a part of my life. And that's what I've pulled energy for. And that's who has shown up in my life. And look at things like, where would you like to live? Or if you love where you're living now, how can you make it greater? Can you invite the beings of light to come live with you in your house every day and be with you in your body every day? And what are some of the energies that you really, 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 really like? We've been gaslit to not really value and learn to understand the energies that are most congruent with us and the most pleasing and joyful for us. But what are those? Like some of the ones that I love are, I don't know, just being in a cafe late at night with an amazing group of people and just enjoying, a bottle of wine, or being by the ocean in the harbor and seeing the yachts, or just laughing, enjoying my body, having peace with my body, continuing to learn how to have peace with my body. Maybe it's like a certain, I don't know, like have you ever seen a pair of shoes and you're just like, oh my God, those are so magical. And they just are so congruent with you, the lines of energy and the colors and the magic and the universe of the shoe. This is profound. And it's like, those are the things that like, we're taught to like dismiss that those aren't things that are important. But if it's something that is truly pleasing to you and magical to you and wonderful for you, that is the most valuable thing. So what are those energies, and how can you start like getting to really know those energies and then include them in your life? So look at what some of those things are for you and put those in your energy bubble along with everything else that we've gone over and looked at. Oh, and then there's money, the big old M. What if you truly knew as a humanoid that money didn't matter to you and it had no significance in your world, that you could have it or not have it at will? It was really and truly just a choice with no judgment attached. What would it be like if that was your financial reality, where you didn't have to think about money, where it just came, you just lived, and money followed along to pay for everything? Cool. And your business. That's where this all began for me, was with business. What kind of a business would you like to have? Whether it's a job or you do have a business, or you're a facilitator, bars facilitator, certified facilitator, it's like, what, if you take the money part of the business too, and we can put the money back in after in a second, but like, God damn, these tools are powerful. And having businesses where we're being consciousness and sharing these tools and getting people acquainted with this kind of magic and peace that these access tools offer, that's a hell of a thing to have in your life. You are rich beyond any possible comprehension if you have that kind of gold in your life. That is pure, solid gold. It's more valuable than gold. And do you know that? And do you claim that? And is that actually the driving force, the power of consciousness that you are as a being, and the ability to create that in the world? So put that energy in your bubble. And now let's pull energy. So let's pull energy through the entire universe, like a big river, sort of. But you don't have to picture it. Just know that you're doing it. You're not doing it wrong. Pull energy through the universe, through the bubble, and then let it go through every pore of your body and out the back of your body. And let that flow turn on. Let that flow of energy, that pull, start. And don't pull for these things. As Gary said, pull to receive the awareness that you require to create these things. But it's not that you have to receive the awareness, think the awareness, and then figure out how to institute it. It just all occurs in the most amazing way. But doing it from the awareness is a much bigger space than doing it from the limitation. So what awareness can you pull in? What awareness are you desperately, desperately refusing to have, that if you would have it, would make your life so wonderful you cannot anticipate it? What is the unanticipated future that you'd really like to have? So keep pulling the energy. Just continue the flow even as I talk about other things. Pull through the universe, through the bubble, through your body, and through you and out the back of you, back into the universe. Oh, wow. And you notice receiving occurring. And you feel vulnerable, as you allow yourself to be so one with everything, so in communion with everything. Because honestly, we don't really think about it this way, but an energy pole is designed to create communion with you in all things. Awesome. So, and then now let's reverse the flow and let's let little trickles out to everybody and everything and every creature and every planet and every galaxy that is looking for you and wanting to contribute to this, and just tap them on the shoulder and just introduce them to your energy. Say hello. And when you say hello to somebody in this way, when you actually meet them, there's already this like warmth and this gifting and receiving going on between you and them, because you've already met them energetically during your energy flow. This is one of the ways that Gary created access, you know? It's a powerful thing. Cool. And then let's reverse the flow and let's pull energy again. So pull through the whole universe, through the bubble, through your body, and through you. And what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, and potency can you be to create a reality beyond this reality and beyond anything you can anticipate with total ease? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 100, shorts, boys, povids, basies, creations, and beyonds. And you can open your eyes. Cool. Yeah. So it's like, that's something that you can use at any time. And energy pools are abundantly available. Facilitators are doing classes on them all the time. They're on YouTube. There's tons of great energy pools. So with that, I will read you guys a short excerpt from my book. I think we'll start at the beginning on chapter 1. So here's the beginning. So, chapter 1, The Seeker. Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm very fucking weird. This energy that I create my life with, the wonderment, the magic, and reaching for awareness beyond the norm, started from as early as I can remember. I grew up on a farm in rural Canada, and from an early age, I realized that I saw the world very differently from those around me. At 5 years old, I would trek through my kitchen, and I would wonder, if I turn right, is this my destiny and there is no other path? Or did I turn right by choice? What would happen if I turned left? What different possibility would show up if I did? Do I have the ability to turn left? Fortunately, I was born into a wacky family with an outlandish mother who helped me explore a wide range of modalities and questions. She taught me about ghosts, healing light, and how to talk to my body. My father wasn't quite as versed in these particular fields of awareness and energy, but he was a great financial advisor with stacks of books on stock investing, retirement planning, and world economics. He educated my sister and I on financial responsibility and was a goofy, fun, and loving dad. My mom, Ellie, is a boundless, glorious radical in her artistic outlets. She was a costume designer and seamstress, and I spent many nights falling asleep to the sound of her sewing machine, her endless enthusiasm wafting from her sewing room across the hall. My mom also had a rainbow of eccentric friends who were artists and healers and shop owners, as well as builders, taxidermists, electricians, and anyone within 50 miles who could understand her creative visions and would assist in bringing her weird and wonderful projects to life. I never knew who or what would be in the house when I got home from school. It was always a surprise. One day, it might be our electrician friend, Dave, sitting in the kitchen wearing a pink wig, playing an electric guitar, and laughing with my parents. On other days, my mom's spiritual friends would visit, and she'd invite me to sit with them. And they would read my animal signs and teach me that happiness was more powerful than hate and that I must harness this energy. They would talk about the energetic portals in their closets and what came through these portals and how they were dealing with the bedroom traffic that the portals caused. My mom also introduced me to a list of books and seminar tapes. I read every kind of self-help, spirituality, and consciousness book she had bought, and many more of my own, doing all the exercises within them. I read tarot cards for hours a day and gave serious thought to subscribing to a specific religion, and I worked hard to harness the power of my subconscious mind. I loved learning and had a true lust for knowing everything that I could possibly know. I became obsessed with advanced human sociology and metaphysics and anything that might give me more information about the mysteries of the universe. At 8 years of age, I wanted to go to Sunday school. The children's picture Bible I had requested for Christmas failed to satiate, and I needed to know more about the Christian religion. Although my parents were not at all religious, they always let me lead my own life, even at such a young age. So off to Sunday school I went. I flummoxed the Sunday school teacher with my deep religious question: if God made everything, then who made God? She didn't like that. I imagine I must have looked quite hilarious, being so small, yet so existential. My relentless questioning continued. I remember being 12 years old and gazing intently at the sky, thinking if Buddhist monks can have total enlightenment beyond human reality, then what am I going to have to do to get that? Where do I have to go? Who do I have to see? What do I have to read? Please, somebody show me. Sometimes I would ask out loud, and sometimes I would ask quietly in my head. Sooner or later, something or someone would show up with more information about what I was looking for. I was convinced that there had to be at least one person on the planet who had awareness of everything in the world and the universe, and who could teach me the things that I desperately needed to know. When I was 18, I left my small town and went to college in Winnipeg. I was eager to do this because I needed new adventures in order to grow. I had hoped the change of environment would give me answers at a faster rate. In Winnipeg, there would be far more options to explore. On my first day of college, my mom and I were getting out of the car, and we saw a girl with 2 big faux fur pillows getting out of the car. One was yellow and one was fuchsia pink. And my mom said, "There, Julia, she looks eccentric. She's your new friend." And as we walked up, the girl with the pillows went up the elevator into the same dorm room as me. That was how I met my new best friend and roommate for the next 4 years, Jessie. Jessie became my new family. Like me, she grew up on a farm. She had also lived all over the world with her parents, who were doing incredible projects, mostly in Indonesia, teaching farmers about effective agriculture. Her parents were radicals and spiritualists, and although Jessie liked athletics and wanted something of a more normal life for herself than her parents had, she was well suited to living with a deep-seeking nut job like me. In that first year of school, beyond my full course load, I attended radical yoga workshops, sex and S&M workshops, meditation workshops, anything I could find. Jessie and I had also had a shared calendar with all the clubs and bars in the city and had strict plans to party at each one of them. And outside of this, I continued seeking deeper meaning. When I saw a poster for a BDSM workshop, BDSM is a form of sexual role-playing, similar to what you see in the movie 50 Shades of Grey, and it stands for bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadism, and masochism. So I went to the sex shop that it was being held in, and I was dressed in a pretty purple flowered shirt and sat right up at the front of the arranged chairs. And I had my fluffy notebook and my fluffy pen, and I was ready to take notes at this BDSM workshop. And I must have looked like Reese Witherspoon looked in Legally Blonde, you know, when she goes... And I was completely unprepared for what was about to happen. So there was a doctor who came out to talk about human sexuality, and then he said, we are going to have some demonstrators. And I thought, oh, what's this going to be like? So a couple wearing combat boots stood up from the back row and came to the front and began. The woman had a shaved head and a black tank top and black leggings and glasses, and the man had on army pants, a black tank top, and many, many tattoos. And for the next hour and a half, I watched, with my eyes exploding out of my head, as 5 feet in front of me, they cut off each other's clothes with special knives and whipped each other back and forth lovingly with different types of whips. They chained each other up and spanked each other, all the while teaching us the etiquette and healthy S&M procedures. Putting on dog collars, they walked each other around the tiny space at the back of the sex shop, moaning in pleasure with each act that they undertook. It was fascinating, hilarious, shocking, intriguing, and probably not a lifestyle I was going to take on because I was previously in question about it, And I ran home to tell Jessie, my fluffy pillow roommate, what I had just witnessed. And we had a good laugh, and as I described how out of place I must have looked in my flowery top, and we marveled at the fact that there is such diversity in the world. Awesome. I think I'm going to probably stop there pretty soon. I don't want to keep you guys too long. And then it goes on and it talks about, when I met Gary and Dane, and I'll just read this little part and then we'll finish. But when I met Gary and Dane at my first Access class, I felt more connected to the universe. I felt at peace. I was finally getting somewhere in my quest to embody the ecstasy of being alive. I started going to Access classes, and I would occasionally skip a few days of school to travel to Toronto or Vancouver, or even as far as Rome or Costa Rica to attend classes with Gary and Dane, and to continue my journey into consciousness. Gary and Dane spoke very differently about energy. Energy is not good or bad, positive or negative. It is not a finite resource. It's totally unlimited. And energy is our first language. When you come into this world as a baby, you are using the language of energy. You know how to cry at a certain pitch to get your parents' attention, and the ability to do that requires energetic awareness. And because you are so energetically aware, everything has a lightness and a different space about it. So there's many chapters. So basically, the book is 13 chapters, and that's the introduction. And then it gets into, there's a chapter on money, and then an energy pull on money. There's a chapter on bodies, and an energy pull on bodies, and all the different areas of life. And it basically talk about the tools and how I've used them, and then basically doing an energy pull so that it kind of breaks it down and talks about the language of energy and how you can use it. So that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a taste and, just kind of remind and invite to the energy of magic that energy pulls are. And I hope you use them. I hope you enjoy. And it's been a very long day. So have a wonderful night. Hopefully you'll get your bars run and have a good dinner. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.